Folk tales from around the world. A story from Japan. The Moon Maiden. In the hills below Mount Fuji lived an old bamboo cutter named Taketori. Taketori was honest and hard-working, but he and his wife were poor and had no children. One summer morning, Taketori went up into the hills. The sun was hot and the path was long and steep. When he reached a grove of fine bamboo, Taketori stopped to rest. "Oh, my poor bones," he muttered. "If only we had a child to help us in our old age." With a weary sigh, he took up his knife and set to work. He cut through a thick stem of bamboo. Taketori noticed a green glowing light inside. He pulled out a shiny green jewel as big as a melon. Taketori held the glittering jewel in his hands, and as he did so, it cracked in two. Out stepped a tiny young girl in a green silk dress. "Greetings, Taketori," she said. Taketori was speechless, for he knew he must have seen a fairy. "May I live with you and your wife for a while?" asked the fairy. He imagined how happy his wife would be. "But our cottage is only a humble dwelling," he said. The fairy told him to close the green jewel and then open it again. And when he did so, it was filled with gold coins. Taketori took the fairy home, and his wife wept with joy to have such a beautiful child. The old couple named the fairy the Lady Beaming Bright. She grew into a young woman who was as fair as the morning, as bright as noon, as sweet as evening, and as enchanting as the night. Taketori and his wife loved their daughter and cherished her very much. With the gold coins, they built a splendid house and gave their daughter everything she could wish for. News of Taketori's enchanting daughter soon spread across the land, and many young men came to ask her hand in marriage. But the Lady Beaming Bright turned each and every one away. "Taketori and his wife are the ones I love," she would say. "My home is with them." 3 happy years passed until one day the young emperor himself came to visit. "Sweet lady," the emperor said, "I bow before you and ask you to be my empress." The Lady Beaming Bright gazed into the emperor's loving eyes, and tears fell upon her cheeks. "My lord, that I cannot do," she said sorrowfully. "Why not?" asked the emperor. For he saw at once she loved him too. "Before long, you shall understand," she replied. In the days that followed, the Lady Beaming Bright grew sad. Although the emperor often came to visit her, she wouldn't stir from the garden, where she sat thoughtfully during the day and gazed at the moon and stars at night. One evening, as the old couple and their daughter sat in the garden with the emperor, Taketori noticed the full moon seemed far brighter than usual. "Look, it sends a moonbeam right into our garden," he said in wonder. The Lady Beaming Bright stepped into the moonlight. "You are right, dear Taketori," she said. "It is the path to bring me home. For my father is the king of the moon. He sent me away for disobeying him, and now It's time for me to return. But my heart is heavy with sadness at parting from you." Down the moonbeam floated 100 Moon Maidens, carrying bright torches. They clothed the Lady Beaming Bright in a robe of white feathers. "Farewell, my dear Earth Father and Mother," she said fondly. And to the Emperor she gave a gift, a tiny bottle containing water of immortal life. Then the Lady Beaming Bright and her maidens rose to the moon. Taketori and his wife kept the green jewel and cherished the memories of their fairy daughter until the end of their days. But the Emperor never drank from the water of immortal life. Instead, he poured it into the fire. "What is use for immortal life without the love of my life, the Lady Beaming Bright?" he said sadly, and her gift rose with the wood and smoke up to the moon. The end.